No way. I told you guys that Billy Carson was a false prophet, and his aim is to lead a lot of Christians away from Christ. He used to be a Christian himself. He's not going to tell you that. And he just pushes people or children of God precisely away from God. But we're about to check this video out. This video is 2 hours long. We're obviously not going to watch the entire full 2 hours. We're going to watch crucial parts that's going to expose this man. And he got caught in 4K on camera doing something he shouldn't be doing.
To connect with them and whatever else. And one of the things I brought up is that Robert is close friends with Billy.
Okay, so basically this man is explaining that Billy Carson lied to him. He was 70 years old because he was some ancient Anunnaki or something. I don't know, some weird Anunnaki stuff which he's obsessed with. And he's 70 years old, but he looks so young because, I don't know, insinuating it could be something to do with, I don't know, alien technology or something like that.
And so he's describing that. I'm friends with Billy. And Robert goes, man, do you know how old that guy is? I was just like, oh my God, he's lying to grown men about his age still. Billy has gone above and beyond to delete all of the Instagram lives that used to be on his page where he would say things like this. I cannot find them. He's deleted them. But I did find a couple comments. I'll just share one of them here with you, where clearly one of his followers heard the same exact thing.
Check it out. Somebody says, "You're 64?" Question mark. I find this incredibly interesting. Just wait. I remember for sure I saw it on Google, because when he told me, I couldn't believe him, so I looked it up. And I'm not the only one who found it on Google.
It's right there.
Right here. Boom. According to Google, he's 64 years old. But they also got 4 likes. So there are multiple people on his own page that say these same things.
They heard it from somewhere.
So are we all just making something up, or did he actually spew this lie? The evidence is...
This man, guys, this man is he's good at lying. Definition of a false prophet. And I've been calling it out. I don't know if you go back, you will see on the channel, I've been calling it out. This man, and he almost got me. He got a lot of Christians
here, and he has deleted other posts where he would verbally say it. And this whole thing went down. It was a huge drama with him and his wife. So I'm sure he really tried to clean up that paper trail, if you will. And I was still able to find comments. It took a lot of digging. I won't lie, but it's right here. See it for yourself.
So that's how my relationship with Billy kind of started. And I'm tired for lying for people like this. I don't want to make this video. I don't enjoy doing stuff like this. I believe this guy is not who he makes himself out to be. Of course, everything said in this video is my opinion backed by the facts that I could find online. I'm not here to attack Billy's character. I'm not here to make him seem like something he's not. I'm here to show you who he is based off the clues he's left. So, why now? Why am I making this video now? Well,
good question.
Billy's trying to sue me. And he's trying to sue me because I got him.
And this guy's supposed to be Billy's friend. They're supposed to be good friends. I'm just filling you guys in because, as I said, we're not going to watch the whole 2 hours. So there's certain parts that from the beginning that are consumed, as you can see on the YouTube video. So I'm filling you guys in. They were actually good friends. They used to eat at each other's houses, like great friends. And Billy starts telling him lies back then. And now this friend is figuring it out. And it's like, this doesn't make sense. He kept lying for Billy, and now he's like, I've had enough. But now Billy is suing him, and Billy got caught on 4K on camera on a Ring doorbell, which we're gonna get to.
On a podcast with a real historian who debunked all his BS in terms of Christianity.
This is that maybe he wasn't crucified.
Yes, the debate freaking took place with Billy Carson and Wesley Huff. Yeah. Keep going. Right, we can do a follow-up.
I really appreciate it, Billy. Thanks so much for interacting.
Billy talks about being emotionally stable, and when things go wrong, you gotta take care of business.
There's gonna be obstacles. I just had an obstacle thrown at me yesterday. Some crazy crap happened from somebody that I really thought was a close friend. I really honored this person and thought that they were actually a really, really close friend, to the point where I even invited this person to my own wedding, and I only had 14 people at my wedding. So that tells you how tight that circle is.
I wonder why your circle's so tight, Billy. Is it because you actually have no friends, or is it because you've changed your identity and people catch on to your grift after so many years, because it's pretty easy to catch on to?
And this person did some diabolical, backstabbing stuff just yesterday.
Diabolical backstabbing. Billy, please explain to me how getting somebody on an interview with you, which we told you about, is diabolical and backstabbing. You knew exactly what you were walking into, but you were probably too lazy to do your own research, because clearly you don't know how to do that. And you didn't look up who Wesley was. And because you came face to face with a real historian and linguist, the fraudulent documents you like to claim as truthful have nothing to stand on. And you didn't like that you got exposed. And because you got exposed for knowing nothing about Christianity, you freaked out. You freaked out so much that you were knocking at my client's door at 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
This is crazy. Just look at this. This is crazy.
Now I got to handle that situation.
Proof.
With legal papers, acting like...
Look at the time. Let's see the time. The time is right there, you know. The stamp is right there at the top. I don't know if you guys see it right at the top. Wow. This is caught in 4K.
With legal papers, acting like you have the power to enforce some type of "you got served." You guys, this is the type of person Billy is. Like, he does have a brain injury, so maybe there is something like literally wrong with him. I don't know. But this is like crazy behavior.
Wait, pause. He does have a brain. This is from his close friend who was at his wedding. So there's a lot of truth being said here. The truth often is somewhere in the middle, but we can't disregard what Anton... Go show him some love, by the way. What Anton is saying here. I didn't know that. So do you really want to be listening to someone or following someone with a brain injury? Because I know there's a video that I made and there's so many comments. This is why I don't believe in Christianity, because this Anunnaki stuff and this plate stuff is real. Jesus was an alien and from a different civilization. Anunnaki. Billy Carson is everywhere now. Joe Rogan and everything. Let's carry on,
has
man.
Kids. He has a family. You got this guy walking up at his house at 2:30 in the morning because of a debate that he posted. That, by the way, wasn't even that bad. I mean, it was bad because Billy doesn't know what he's talking about, but there wasn't like arguments, and Wesley was very kind, and he could have pushed way harder, and he didn't. So Billy, bro, was it diabolical, or is what you're doing diabolical?
But at the same time, my mind went right into solutions mode. What's the solution to this problem, and how can I do it? How can I take care of this situation?
The solution is to pretend you're a lawyer and knock at my client's door at 2:30 in the morning.
Wow.
How can I take care of this situation, which I've already worked on last night while it happened?
You sure did, Billy. You sure did work on it the other night.
I didn't wait and think and sob and, oh my goodness, I can't believe this person backstabbed me like this, and why is this happening to me?
Backstabbed you? Please show me where the backstabbing occurred.
Yes, I processed the anger and the...
Billy, there's nothing to process. There's literally nothing to process. You agreed to an interview with Wesley. There was no bait and switch. You knew exactly what you were walking into. We told you we were going to talk about religion, but you don't know what you're talking about, and because you finally stepped foot in front of somebody who knows what they're talking about, you were exposed for who you really are. So, let's talk about Billy's credentials. I mean, he did go on Joe Rogan talking about how he got into all this stuff.
Next morning, and I told the teacher I have to go to the library inside the school, Rainbow Park, and I said I need to get all the encyclopedias on aerospace. And she gave me the encyclopedias on aerospace, and that's when I started researching from that exact moment.
Wow.
And I haven't stopped since.
So you were, how old? 8?
7.
7
Yeah.
years old. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So he claims he was 7 with Joe, but with Wesley and Mark.
But since I was 6, I was studying aerospace.
Now, could that be an honest mistake? Sure. But if you're going on Joe Rogan, I would really highly encourage you have your stories and facts in order. So what are Billy's real credentials here? He claims...
And you studied at both Harvard and MIT?
Harvard was for ancient civilizations. I took a class and got a certificate in ancient civilizations. And at MIT, I took a class in applied neuroscience and got a certificate in applied neuroscience.
Okay, so he says he goes to Harvard. And when you hear these words originally, most people are like, oh yeah, like he graduated from Harvard. Billy Carson did not graduate from Harvard. Billy Carson did not graduate from MIT. Billy Carson took a free class that any human being can take on ancient civilizations at Harvard and neuroscience at MIT. But he's gonna push that in your face like that's something you can't do. This is a recent comment. He tells his followers, nah, Google me. MIT Applied Neuroscience, Kane University, Quantum Physics, Harvard Ancient Civilizations. In the class I'm teaching here, I'll provide you all the sources. Y'all, listen up. You can literally go take these classes at Harvard yourself. This is nothing to be proud of. I mean, and by the way, this is all recently. So clearly he's starting to realize people are catching on to his grift. This is not impressive. And why does his Harvard University credentials say he went to school for 3 years? He says he went for 3 years, but the course he says he took only takes 1 year. Did it take him 3 years to take a 1 year course? That's crazy if so. Or is he just trying to skew the perception of who he really is to continue his grift? That is a question I do not know how to answer. I'll let you decide. He forgot to mention the part where he was an actor.
Over dry the beard because that can create itching and irritation.
But Billy, despite his quote-unquote education, he also claims he's a scientist.
You know, when I go a lot of places, because I'm 6'4", a lot of people, did you play basketball? Did you play football? What do you do for a living? I tell them, I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist. That's what I tell people. And you got, just to see the look on a lot of these people's faces when you first tell them that, they're like, huh? A scientist? Like, they're completely shocked. It's like, this black guy just told me he's a scientist. You can see it in their face.
What the heck? This man is a full
Billy, my
liar.
friend, science doesn't really care about your feelings, yet based off your own words, you like to base your research off what you feel it is.
If they ask me questions, I'll continue to try to educate them on what I believe or show them the way that I feel it is.
This is literally the definition of being emotional, which you claim you aren't. But based off your actions and how you do your research, you're clearly
I told
emotional.
you guys, this
You
man.
have no idea what a real scientist is like. Let's talk about Billy's past. He also claims he's not a criminal. And you'll hear him say this a lot. He even made a video back in 2023 to debunk the allegations that certain people had started putting out about him. About that he spent time in jail, about that he was arrested for identity theft, and all these different things that he claimed are not true. He put a video out about it. I unfortunately, I can't find the video. The reason he probably deleted it is because he probably tried to debunk something that was actually true. And probably Elizabeth or somebody close to him was like, dude, you can't have this out here because this is a lie. So the video is gone. I found that very interesting. For somebody who prides themselves as being honest and transparent and, a thought leader and all these different things. But when I looked into it, not only is Billy a criminal, but he lies to people about being a criminal. Let's take a look.
That's a bit.
That was a year, 3 months. 3 months.
That's a year. That's a year. If you innocent, 3 months is a fucking year. That's a bit.
I went on a trip with a friend of mine to Georgia a long time ago. We were kids, basically. And
You weren't a kid. You were 31 years old. This was in 2002.
he had
some marijuana in the back of his trunk. He has not even a lot. I mean, it was personal use. It was less than an ounce. It was in his speaker box. We get pulled over going into Georgia. So they pull us over and everything else. He forgets he has it in there. It's so old that it's dry rotted, I guess, you know. And they searched it. They found this dry rotted, bud in the back of the trunk.
So Billy, it wasn't marijuana. It was cocaine. That's a big difference. And unfortunately, somebody tried to wipe this clear of the internet, clearly, because it's very hard to find details on this. But I dug these details up over 2 years ago. They've gotten harder since.
And they took us down to the local, the local police department, the local jailhouse. And they kept us in there for 3 months waiting to go to trial. He had given the statement that this guy was just a friend of mine, a passenger in the car and everything else. People were begging to get out of there just to go to prison. But it was a hell of an experience for me to be able to be around those people. I became like the leader in there, of course, dropping knowledge on people and getting people's minds right and everything else. And people, the hardest core criminals and stuff in there were like, hating to see me leave, literally tearing up when I got out of there. Obviously, they had to let me go because I didn't do nothing wrong.
3 months?
3 months. 3 months. Just to go.
Quarter.
That's what they do. It's a business. It's a business.
It almost feels like you just needed to experience every single thing for no reason, just so that you could relate to the rest of the world.
I already knew that. That's exactly what it was. I had been through that situation, which of course I was completely exonerated. I have no criminal record at all. Matter of fact, I just got my concealed weapons license, but. I'm a Team USA basketball coach, so there's no record there. But being able to be around those people and experience them at that level and talk to them on the level that they were at and understand what they were going through, and then to be able to talk to them and take their mind to a whole nother level. Some of those people looked me up when they got out of prison, down in Miami, and we linked up again, and they were like, I did this, I changed my life here, I changed my life there, all from just me helping them find a way to look inside and elevate their consciousness. So it was a great, people will look back at that experience in their life and be like, I can't believe this happened to me, and cry about it and whine about it. I'm thankful for it because it gave me another perspective of life that I probably would have never seen. And it gave me the ability to relate to people that have gone through that or been through that system on a level where I can directly talk to them. They understand, I know exactly what's happened, how they felt about it. And also, I can give them a step-by-step process on how to elevate themselves and not even have to worry about ever going back. That was a great experience, man.
Do you see what our greatest teachers have to go through to teach? You know what I mean? It's just like, it's almost karmic. It's like you have to go through something. Even if you walk in a straight line, you still have to feel that diversity to see if you can face the challenge so people can learn from you.
This is super interesting. I'm honestly intrigued because the way I saw this man talking on Joe Rogan, it's so believable. This guy's got a deceiving spirit. Honestly, he's got a dragon speaking through his mouth. It was so believable. The tablets, the ancient civilization, the Anunnaki, Christ was an alien. But it's like he's mixing the truth with like all of this fallen angel technology kind of thing. They weren't actually, it was a Sumerian, all of these fancy weird names that nobody's going to sit there and do research on every single thing. So it sounds so believable. And this man is lying straight from his teeth. You think is this graduated from wherever, and it's like everything is a lie. He's a deceiver in real time.
Now I find this whole thing he's telling Dame Dash very interesting. I'm actually curious if this is where the idea of forbidden knowledge came from. The dude went to jail and was apparently inspiring the criminals inside the jail. And apparently, after he got out of jail, people looked him up and told him about what they shared with him in jail inspired them. Now, I'm all for, inspiring people. I have a past too. Everyone's got a thing in their past. I have no problem with that. My problem is the lies. But I just can't help but wonder, is this where Billy got the inspiration for forbidden knowledge? Obviously, that's just my speculation, but that's very disingenuous because he probably told those people he had nothing to do with this crime and the cocaine and whatever else, but clearly There was clearly something to do with it. Whether else, I don't fully know. I cannot find those records. But something happened. This was a serious charge. I want to give Billy the benefit of the doubt here, but he didn't learn his lesson. And I know he didn't learn his lesson because this happened in 2002 with the cocaine. And oh, by the way, he says he was virtually a kid.
A kid. You were 31 years old. This was in 2002.
So to play this off like you were like 18 years old is just very disingenuous. And clearly you didn't learn your lesson because in December 2013, you got arrested for fraud. Here is Billy's court records that I pulled up from the Broward County website. On December 18th, 2013, the defendant, William Carson, this was before he changed his name, was arrested for using a fictitious ID in the card in the name of Charles Rubin to fraudulently open a Chase checking account at Chase Bank. So, following in the vehicle's center console, this is what was found. A Florida driver's license in the name of John Black Knight. Okay, so that's not Billy. An Amex Costco card found in the name of John B. Knight. I don't need to read all of it, you can see it right here, but he says, after waiving his Miranda rights, William Carlson admitted to opening the 2 Amex accounts, the American Eagle account, the Barclays account. He advised that he has never used the real identity information of another person to open the accounts. Further investigation revealed. In 2013, the defendant opened at least 6 credit accounts. 6! Using Tony Bellamy's real social security number without his authorization. For each of the 6 accounts established, Tony Bellamy's name, date of birth, phone numbers, address were not used. Each credit account had an account balance. The following names and dates of birth were used in addition to the social security. Wow. Long story short, I'm pretty sure he ended up going to the jail. Here he goes. I read defendant Miranda rights via card, which he waived and admitted that the license was fictitious. Defendant advised that he purchased the license off of the street in Miami. This is 11 years ago. Not even. Yeah, it's literally like almost exactly 11 years ago. Defendant advised that his credit is bad and could not open an account under his real name. Defendant signed consent form to search his vehicle, where I found another Florida driver's license in the name of John Black Knight. I also found a Florida power light bill in the vehicle with the name Charles Rubin on it. Defendant advised that he printed out a bill on his computer and changed the name. Defendant also advised that in the past he changed his birth name from Billy Cameron Carson to his current name. Carson also changed his name. His real name is William Carlson. Why would someone have to change their name?
I'm telling what I didn't intend on watching this for this long, but this is actually good. Not in the sense of like, oh, you know, I want him to get caught. I couldn't care less, to be honest with you, because this man, all I care about is the amount of souls that he's deceiving. He's leading people to hell. Okay, with all of this alien technology garbage, this man is clearly, I want to say a criminal, but a fraudster?
Name. Alias name, Carson Billy Camrick. Alias name, Carson William Tyrone. Charged for fraud. Here you go. Here's the arrest information. And, you know, I could go on and on. I don't need to be a freaking detective here. You can go download this stuff if you want, but you get the idea. This is Billy Carson. This is forbidden knowledge. It's the same guy. And he makes a video that is now deleted trying to say this isn't him. Yeah, you can look up all his records. Broward County. Look it up. It's all there. I'll put some screenshots so you can check it out yourself.
Maybe I am missing information about Billy's charge that he talks about, because I came across something really interesting, and it is a post that he put out. I'll put it here. And he says, "My new documentary will be on Amazon soon. Take a journey with me into the county jail for one night and the extensive process that I had to go through to get my case terminated." Okay, so he acknowledges there was a case, just like he said to Dame Dash. So it all adds up, right? What doesn't add up based off what Billy says is the nature of the case. From what I found, it's cocaine. From what he,
just like what he's done with the Bible, like no, Jesus was a real person, because he says that. I've heard him say that on not Joe Rogan, the other podcast where the comedians, there's three, anyways, that some white boy, he sits down there with him and his comedian friends, they make fun of people, and anyways, I've heard him sit down and say, Jesus was a real person, he was real this, but he just wasn't who he was. The crucifixion didn't take place. He was an alien from an ancient civilization who actually came down. No. I read it. It said he's so convincing. That's what I'm saying. There's a spirit behind him.
He says it's marijuana. And it seems like he was going to make a documentary about this. This was all the way back in 2018. I went to go look up if the documentary came out, and it did not come out. It's still in pre-production. So I don't know, maybe it never happened. Maybe this was a project he was working on and he dropped it for whatever reason. But I was actually kind of glad to see this post, because, this was 2018 when he made the video about, is Billy a fraudster and did he really go to jail, and all that other stuff that I showed earlier. That was like that was much later. This was later in time. So this has clearly been on his radar, and I would just love some clarity. Like, I really would love to know the truth. Again, I don't want to paint somebody for something that's not true, but based off Billy's words and what I could find on the internet, something does not add up. Like, did you actually do fraud? And if you did, no worries. Like, we all make mistakes, but why do you have to lie about it? Why do you have to try to cover it up? Why did you change your name? These are questions that I just have to I just personally want answers to, especially if you're a public figure who are guiding people in their business, in their spirituality, in their mindset. Like, one of the biggest things for all of this is transparency. Like, just like those Christian pastors, they preach love, but then they rape children. It's like, I can't trust you with my spirituality. That's ridiculous. Why would I ever trust you with that? And I'm not saying Billy does that, but I am saying that, if he has a fraudulent past, I'd love for him to just come clean about it so that we can just have clarity, so we don't have to wonder. But based off what's on the Broward County website and other websites, like the documents I showed, there is something. There's clearly something. Unless this is all fraud and Billy's actually the one that his ID got stolen, I don't think so, based off everything that's there. I mean, he's gone to jail a few separate times. So there's something, but I found this super interesting because he was going to make a documentary about it. So, I mean, if you're committing to making a documentary about how your case was unlawful and terminated, from his own words, that's significant. That matters. And I feel like if this is all true, he would have talked about it more. So,
guys, look, let me know in the comment section down below, okay? Do you believe me in saying that this man is, in fact, you'd be silly to not believe me. This man is a false prophet. You will soon see. And now things like this are starting to come out already. Did you fall for some of his things, some of the things that he was saying, all this Anunnaki stuff and blah, blah? What false prophets do is they take the truth and then they mix it with a lie. You see? And then there's like, it could be 98% truth, but even if there's 1%, that's exactly what the devil done. You see? If you're really God, turn this stone into bread. And that's subtle. That subtleness, this stone into bread. Had he have done that, then maybe we won't even be saved, because Christ's mission was for him to die on the cross so that we can have life eternal life, that is. So I pray that you truly seek God, and these last end times, there are going to be people who are going to come and test your faith, and you don't want to lose your faith. So Heavenly Father, I pray for my friend over here. Help them to not lose their faith. In Jesus' mighty name, may you protect their family, their loved ones, and all of that stuff. Comment amen in the comment section down below, and let me know if I should check out more Billy Carson's videos. But this, I'm stunned. I am stunned.